hope all is well for you. Today we will see what is it like to work at Goldman Sachs in India. This video is brought to you by the Question Response channel, the channel where you will find the answer to everything. Today Anonymous and Anonymous are going to present their answers to us. Let's see Anonymous's first answer.
My boyfriend, who I've been dating for 5 years, works in Goldman Sachs, Bangalore, so I have an idea of how his life is there. His version of this won't be the same. His view of the company is biased because of the huge bonus he gets each year. He leaves for work at 8:45 a.m. and comes back around 10 to 10:30 p.m. every day, and on rare occasions maybe once a month he'll reach at 9 p.m. Insane, right? At least he gets to avoid the Bangalore traffic. How can anyone work like for so long without a mental breakdown, you may wonder. And you're right, he falls sick, goes into depression so often. GS knows this will be the case, so it provides for doctor's appointment in Apollo Hospital free and without waiting in the line. So thoughtful, right? He drinks 2 to 3 cups of coffee every day, has perpetual dark circles and is exhausted all the time. Do we go on dates on weekdays? No, not all the time. It depends on if he worked 60 hours that week or 70. If 60, yes, we might go to the nearest coffee shop for about 2 hours. If 70, nope, not happening. And I don't have much of an intimate life anymore. 60 hours of work kills the libido. This made me really angry. Remember the national holiday called Independence Day of India? Well, GS employees are not independent. He worked 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. even then. He eats lunch at his desk most of the time, and I'm not allowed to call during work hours. Even if I had died right below his office, he would tell me in whispers, "Not now. My boss is looking at me because I picked up the phone. I've got to go, bye." It's not that bad. He answers my texts in a couple of hours if it's urgent. GS is very female friendly. I mean really female friendly. The pretty lady in his team gets to leave at 8 every day and is sick every other week. To tell you the truth, GS has taken a toll out of me too. But I put up with my pressured, tired and stressed out BF because he's worth it. And this could be situation in his department only. I'm sure the other departments are better, worse. He doesn't think this work situation is toxic because he likes his colleagues and the work, but it's taking a toll on his health. I understand GS requires such intensity, but come on, we've all heard about the Indian who died in GS San Francisco, and I'm really worried about my BF too.
The next answer is from Anonymous.
Me. So why do you want to leave the firm after excelling your performance reviews? You had a good thing going here. Why leave everything and wander to unknown territory? X. Even though I have excelled my reviews, I am not getting the work I deserve. Lack of quality projects, long unnatural working hours, discrimination, just to name a few, are the ones that fueled my resignation. The scenario which I described as de facto conversation, which I encounter on a daily basis under my capacity as a human capital manager, a glorified word for HR. I routinely take 4 to 5 exit interviews per week. On an average, around 100 people leave GS every month. I have been working as an HR for the past couple of years in GS, Bangalore office, and thus I qualify to answer this question. A lot has already been said on this question, but since a brilliant answer recently popped in my Quora feed, I think I should warn the gullible Indian engineers who dream to join the firm. Before beginning my answer, let me ask you guys a question. What's the primary role of any organization, business entity? Increasing sales revenue versus increasing employee satisfaction? Increasing profit versus increasing employee count to reduce the burden on existing employees? Catering to shareholders' need versus catering to employee needs, like a game room, free food? If you chose option 1 every time, then you are on right track. GS doesn't care about its employees in India. The only reason they did set up this office is to reduce the burden of their NYC, LDN overlords who can peacefully sleep while the gnomes in India do their dirty work at 1/5 the price. Given the INR depreciation, it might come down to 1/6 the price. They are setting up a new office in Bangalore with probably twice the seating capacity currently in place. It's because Indian engineers are fucking cheap and don't complain much because of lack of regulations. I have never seen an office with 1,000 plus people and no game room. WTF. Hundreds of people can be found working till midnight in the Bangalore office without any extra compensation. Their only fault is that their manager lives in NYC. They don't even get to come late during the day. Apparently, it's the fault of poor Indian engineers that their managers live in NYC. You might be thinking at least those poor chaps will get leave on Indian national holidays. Haha. No, some poor chap from each team will have to come. Why, you may ask? It's because Indian holiday doesn't count as holidays. Only valid holidays are Christmas, Halloween. Can't remember more of America's shit. I don't know the nitty-gritty of technical debt, but it has already been excellently covered in the answer I have linked earlier. Now it's evident that GS is sucking the blood out of you, and you can do only one thing to ease your pain. Join GS and leave within 1 to 1.5 years after getting your bonus. GS provides good compensation as compared to other firms, and after leaving GS you can command good hike. So as they are exploiting us, let's exploit them as well. Remember to ask for 50% hike before joining and not budge for anything less than 40%. After leaving you can ask for at least 30% hike to another firm when you leave GS after 1 year. That leaves you close to 100% hike within 1.5 year. If you like the answer, please share to save your brother in arms. Thanks. Peace out.
We can continue with Anonymous's answer.
I worked in GS Bangalore for 1 year in 2008. Pros. The respect and the admiration the name commands. Incredibly smart and workaholic people. The way they treat their employees, such as subsidized food, free cookies, fruits, etc. Very professional approach for e.g., even if there was a blunder committed by a team member, the manager would politely ask, "Do you have a minute?" and discuss the issue in a conference room. Immense career growth for hard workers. I personally know a colleague who from a fresher became a VP in about 6 years. Continuous learning from the industry veterans. There used to be at least one town hall regarding a market topic monthly by visiting vice presidents, MDs and partners. Cabs at every half an hour post 6 p.m. to anywhere in the city. Cons. Long working hours. People from other teams would generally ask what time do you log in, since the time you log off is never certain, which is a minimum of 12 hours plus. No one would ask you to work for X number of hours, but the tasks which you would have assigned would take forever and would be dependent on other regions such as UK, US. Absolutely no social life during weekdays. I would generally never pick any calls during working hours unless some family members call me repeatedly. Some of you would probably get water from the pantry to your colleagues. In GS, we would get lunch for colleagues from the cafe to their desk since they wouldn't have time to eat. Half-finished food trays across cubicles were a common sight. Imagine the choicest of delicious foods available at a very subsidized price, but you don't have the time to move from your seat. There have been times wherein our team would have continuously worked from noon to midnight and survived only on coffee. Most of the work done here is operations, which can get mundane after some time. If the volume of work requires 8 people, GS would only hire 4. I have never taken unplanned leave cause it would impact others a lot. All said and done, I worked in GS and it has been an enriching experience.
What do you think? We will continue with Anonymous's answer.
We are pleased to extend you an offer at Goldman Sachs, a sentence which I heard around 2 years ago that made me elated and full of confidence. I contemplated upon that day for a year and finally left that shithole. I felt that I would be one of the elites and would be working upon the challenging problems, a catchphrase used in the job description. In reality, it's all a brainwash. Goldman Sachs is a devil which thrives upon people's happiness and sucks the bejesus out of it until the point you give up. Do I need to come up with the Great Depression of 2008? I worked as an equity strat in Goldman Sachs, Bangalore office, and I am well qualified to answer this question. Here are my observations. 1. The tech here is the ultimate shitty thing I have ever seen on this planet. They have developed their own language called slang which they compare with Python, but in fact, it's not even worthy to be compared with the humble potato. During my stint, I have seen hundreds of emails complaining the excessive memory usage of the process running on Slang. The only solution the so-called vice presidents, VP, could come up with is to increase their max permissible memory. The ostrich mentality. Closing parenthesis. Nobody profiles their code, nobody tries to optimize their runtime execution. In fact, the situation is so bad that the internal team which grants direct compute resources to other teams for running their processes has declared that no team will get fresh machines. They are struggling really hard because the developers don't and can't optimize their code because of the shitty architecture of the Slang. Those morons there are still coming up with stupid polyglot shit for bridging up the gap, but they, in fact, are alleviating the pain of the future analysts. While the VPs are enjoying their fat bonuses, analysts would be scratching their head over various bugs encountered in JSI, Java Slang integration. I could go on with the language's shortcoming, but I think you all get the gist. It's bad. Period. 2. In order to cope up with the latest trend, the VPs embraced the microservices, forgetting the banes that come along with microservices, one of which is logging. When you split the execution of your process amongst 6 different processes, you need a better way of logging in order to get a proper picture of the complete execution. Any dev who has worked on microservices will agree upon the crucial need of an effective logging system. When confronted with the hard fact, VP's answer is we have some other ongoing priority, aka ostrich mentality. There is indeed some effort ongoing, but it's not at all adequate. 3. Coming to IDE, they use their own, called SecView, for running and debugging Slang scripts, and believe me, it's the worst IDE ever. I have numerous screenshots supporting my statement but can't upload them here. It's no better than a summer project made by a grad intern. Sometimes the interns make better project than the one they have developed over a freaking decade. Some of the nuances include no visual support of knowing whether the variable, function you are referring to exists or not. I spent 90% of my time correcting the stupid names rather than working on something productive. I honestly would prefer writing my code on Notepad++ rather than SecView. 4. Racial discrimination is paramount. Asians slog the most and are awarded the least. All quality projects are led by US, UK counterparts spitting the leftovers to be cleaned up by Asians. They don't give proper knowledge transfer, KT, to us either, leaving us to figure out the code ourselves. No recognition either. I would bet you $100 to come at GS, Bangalore office any midnight and you would see no less than 50 analysts slogging to impress their knee masters aka VPs. 70% of the MDs, managing director, in GS are from US, UK. Rest are from Africa, Europe and Asia. They don't even honor Indian holiday calendar. Some poor shamuk from each team is supposed to work on holidays like the 15th of August 26 Jan and the 2nd of October to support the trading desks. In short, they treat us no better than a household servant hired to do household chores. I treat my household maid and cook with way more respect and diligence than my VP did during my tenure. You decide. I don't know why Quora keep on collapsing my answer.
This is the end of the video. I hope you have more answers. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it more, you can subscribe and leave a like on this video. The video is over. You can continue discussing this question in the comments or find another question that interests you. See you next time.